A couple days ago, I found a server on the Minehut network. Catch is, it's Anarchy. You can do just about anything with no consequences. Except the difference with this server was, you can't cheat. No X-ray, no hacking, no nothing. And that's a turn-off for most people. But for me, it was just what I needed. In just a matter of days, I'd amassed many friends, but just as many enemies. A few minutes after joining the server, a player by the name of Maljon asked me what I was doing. I told him I was just trying to get stacked, and then he offered to share his base and resources with me. Usually I'm pretty skeptical about any offer on an Anarchy server, but with nothing to lose, I thought, why not? So I set off to the coordinates. I used the nether to travel faster, and after looting a bastion and finding a fortress, I finally made it. After I left the nether at the coords Maljon had messaged me, I found myself at the world border, at the foot of a tower, home to those who deem themselves the world's edge wizards. With the help of Mal's spider XP farm and his villagers, I was able to get fully enchanted netherite in a matter of hours, and a sword that could kill anything. The last essential item I needed was an elytra. Since hacking is bannable, I needed something that would give me an edge over other players. And the elytra was exactly that, allowing me to traverse lands much quicker than other players. Before we went to the end, Mal gave me one of his totems, another essential item in the Anarchy environment. Before end busting, we were going to stop by the new Enderman XP farm one of the members had built to test it. And another member came with us, a player named Fane, short for Fanekid. And here's where the trouble really began. Because the XP farm was running slow due to unknown reasons, Fanekid was getting impatient, so he told me to get out of the way so that he could get more XP. And when I didn't listen, he tried to spleef me. This was just the beginning of our rivalry, and a small glimpse into the lengths he would go to get his way. After that little incident, I went end busting, alone. I knew I'd get more loot that way, and knowing the nature of some of my teammates, it seemed the wise choice. Lucky for me, I found 3 end cities unlooted, and now I had not one, but 2 elytras. With my new fully enchanted elytra, I knew getting to the villager trading hall would be much easier. So, I headed straight there. When I told Fane I was going to go to the villagers, he said they were all dead. I went anyway, just to make sure. And when I got there, sure enough, I could hear them under the ground, just where I'd left them. When I confronted Fane, telling him I'd just found them, he responded by saying none of them were the villager that sold mending for 1 emerald. And that got me thinking, if he knew they were all dead, how could he know that the ones that were still alive didn't sell mending for 1 emerald? When I asked him, he said, all important ones. This was what I didn't want to hear. He had taken a definitive answer and twisted it. I knew from now on, I couldn't take anything he said seriously. But after I called him out, he banned me from the tower that he didn't even own. If he hadn't lied in the first place, why was he getting so mad? It didn't make sense. He even threatened to take me out if I came anywhere near. Any sane man would turn around and run away. So I flew straight back to the tower. See that? Fane had wasted no time making sure everyone knew how much he wanted me dead. I couldn't see him at first, but he was there. Turns out he was just shifting behind the door the whole time. Look, I am in no way a PvP expert, But I will tell you everything wrong with this image. See those green particle effects around him? That's leaping. Leaping is not useful in PvP because you were able to land fewer hits, and because you're in the air, it's easier to hit you out of the way. And that potion he's just thrown is weakness. Now, weakness has no effect on bows, and even if it did, the distance from which he's throwing it is affected by the leaping, meaning that potion will never come anywhere near me. But enough of my baseless claims. Let's see how his master strategy plays out. After a grueling battle, and many potions and hits exchanged, many gaps eaten and totems popped, I finally whittled his health down to 0. But seriously, what the fuck was that? After trying to kill me, he decided that it was better off if he ran away. So he hid in this secret base that he said he hadn't told me about. He made the genius play of telling me all about it and how it was this secret thing that he and Mal did. When in reality that would lead me straight to him. I'd seen him fall down the bottom of the mountain, and I hadn't seen him come out again. When I opened these doors, I saw the nether portal and thought he must have gone into the nether. But then I saw stairs going further down, and I knew they'd lead me straight to him. And it didn't take long for me to find him. I waited till he left so that I could find a way to dig in without him hearing me. And when I broke through, I'd found the secret base. To be honest, there wasn't much there, so I found the exit and went straight up. Unsurprisingly, I found myself back at the entrance of the tower. Thane told me he was waiting for me, but I couldn't see him anywhere. As night fell, all was quiet. I fed my loyal dogs cooked pork chops because I'm rich. You could almost forget that we were fighting. And then I saw him across the mountain range, my ally turned enemy. I took my gun, well it's a bow, and started firing. With one shot, his totem was gone. Surrounded by mobs and being gunned down, I knew he stood no chance. But he wasn't going to give up easily. Desperate to escape, he ran down the mountain and leapt into the gorge. I followed swiftly behind. He wasn't at the XP farm, so I knew he'd gone into the nether portal. But I knew better than to follow him in. He once again told me he wasn't lying, so I asked him again how he knew that the villagers didn't sell mending for 1 emerald. And he said something that changed everything. He knew the villagers that were still alive didn't sell mending for 1 emerald, because he'd seen the one that did die. It didn't change the fact that he'd lied saying all the villagers were dead, but it finally cleared up the big mystery. The only question I had left was why he'd kept this piece of information secret until now. As soon as he asked me to come into the nether, I knew he was waiting on the other side to trap me. So not long after calling his bluff, he came back through.
Let me ask you, John, how do you feel? 'Cause I am really pissed off. You pissed, John? Are you? Yeah.
In his rage, Thane had slaughtered one of my dogs. Now there was no going back. He told me he was in the tower, so I flew up to him. I told him he'd blown this all out of proportion just so that he could have an excuse to get rid of me. He denied this and said that he really wanted me to stay. After getting nowhere, I decided to take a break. And when I logged back in, this happened. Nothing major. But he definitely still wanted me dead. As you can see, he very much wanted me dead.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
When I logged back in, Mal was also there, and he'd taken my side, but mostly he just didn't give a shit. He told Fane to just let her go, but he wasn't having it. And then he threatened to kill both of us if I didn't leave. After being fed up with Fane's antics, Mal killed him and broke the bed that was his spawn point, sending him to the lava-casted hell that was the spawn region. And after all that, Fane actually had the audacity to say this. With Fane trapped at spawn far away, begging us for help, we breathed a sigh of relief. But the fun didn't last long, because Fane threatened to do what every Anarchy player fears most.
Haha, did you forget I have the coords to your base lol?
After realizing the terrible truth that this person that was once my ally would now destroy everything my new friend had worked for, I made the mature decision to tell him to fuck off. Because Fane had only targeted Mal because I had pissed him off, I felt personally responsible, so I knew the only way he would stop the leak would be if I talked to him properly. After convincing him to a negotiation over Discord, he joined the call. The first few minutes were just going over what had just happened. But after a little while, I asked a big question.
And to be honest, I really didn't realize that there were still villagers left there.
No, I believe you. Like, I believe you. But you said you didn't tell me that you'd seen
I
that
get
one
mad
die.
pretty easily.
Yeah, no, I can tell. I know that. It's just, I didn't understand why you threatened to kick me out. That's why I thought you were lying, because I thought, why would he overreact if he knew exactly what would make him obviously not lying?
Well, sometimes it's usually really hard to piss me off, but I'm not in a good mood today because I slept for under 3 hours, so
Oh yeah, fair.
that's why all this happened.
But yeah, no, so why didn't you just tell me, like, straight away?
Well, I honestly don't know.
So we cool? Are you gonna leak Mal's stuff?
What? Also, by the way, I have 5 diamonds in this bottom barrel here, and clearly we have a diamond thief.
After whatever that was, he explained to me how he'd managed to escape the base without me seeing him, by showing me the secret tunnel that he used. And also, ever wonder where those harming potions he talked about went? Don't worry, Fane's got you covered.
Oh no, I did. I was keeping them in a chest, but I forgot where I kept that chest, and now I have literally no clue, and if anybody finds a chest with a bunch of harming potions in it, that's probably mine. Anyways,
Oh, there's some diamond armor in here, so you probably just use that. I mean, those boots are definitely the ones I found in the end city.
I'll use the boots. Oh, by the way, if you break these 2 blocks, go ahead. You're right by the end portal, and I broke these to get into here, then went down there. You got any ideas? Unless if you have, like, a fortune and 1,000 pip,
Well, how much do you need?
Well, I mean, depends on what we're getting back. Like,
Just put these.
well, I'm sorry, man. I am not in the right mood today.
No man, it's all good. We all have shit days occasionally. Some more than others. It's fine.
Anyways, I killed 3 of your dogs. You want me to get them back?
That's fine, dude. I've got like 50. I'm not gonna go John Wick on your ass or anything. It turns out my suspicion that he trapped the portal was right, but it was cobble, so I probably would have been able to get out. And just as suddenly as it had started, it was over. The war between Fane and I was brought to an end, with peace and negotiation. But not without devastating losses. A lot has changed since our fight, with new members being recruited, and I even joined Maljon as one of the leaders of the World's Edge Wizards. Fane has been temporarily demoted, and I quote, for being an arsehole. The moral to the story is, try your best to get a good night's sleep. And that is the story of how I made friends, enemies, got rich, started and won a war on an Anarchy SMP. But that's just the beginning. If all that can happen in just a few days, then who knows what the future holds. If you breathed at any point during this video, subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay wicked, my friends.